Good morning. November 30 already. The agapanthus getting ready to bloom. They should be out in a few days. I was just reading an article about the British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and his parlous popularity ratings at the moment. He's down around 19–20%. And he'll be gone either early next year by his own party or by the electorate at the next election, you would think. But the writer was saying that part the reason for Starmer's failures is because he's boring. And I thought, well, I think it might have more to do with the fact that he's leading one of the most chaotic and incompetent governments since the Conservative governments he replaced, because they were terrible as well, and that's why he was elected. It was not a vote necessarily for him, it was a vote against the incumbents, and that's happening, of course, all around Western democracies at the moment. But this word boring struck me as interesting because people use it, and I think it's more a reflection of them. How on earth can you be bored in this life? So much to do, so much to see, so much to think about. So I think boring often reflects more on the person using the word. John Howard, they said, was boring. He won 4 elections, loved sport, loved politics, loved life. There's nothing boring about John Howard. Or Tony Abbott, fire brigade man, a sportsman, a surf lifesaver, and they said he was boring. Nothing boring about Tony. You may not like their politics. Same as Anthony Albanese now. His life story is quite remarkable. And who would have thought 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that he'd now have won 2 elections and be on his way to an easy third, after which he'll probably retire and ride off into the sunset, a Labour hero. Now, the word boring is often used. They said it of Dwight Eisenhower in the United States. I think a lot of people might settle for boring over there right now for a little while. And how could you say that word boring about the man who organised and led the D-Day invasion? Nothing boring about that. But it's interesting with words, isn't it? I remember we had a grade 4 teacher, Mr. Monnox, and Mr. Monnox hated a certain word. And one day he got us all to bring in a little matchbox, and we got to school and we wrote down this word on a piece of paper, put it in the box, walked across the road, down the hill into the park, and we all buried the word. And the word was got. And in my broadcasting career, and I've now written 3 books with a 4th on the way, I don't think I've used the word got too often. So it was good teaching by Mr. Monnox. I got it. November 30, as mentioned, it was the day some years ago that a young Australian walked out to play his first test match in Brisbane. He made 18 and 1. Hardly an auspicious start. 52 tests later, he retired with an average of over 99. It was Don Bradman, of course. Nothing boring about the Don. Have a great day.